So this could be big news. Kash Patel might be on his way out, possibly next month. Carol Lenning is reporting that Trump is considering replacing Crazy Eye Cash. He's come under a lot of scrutiny lately. His girlfriend has been given SWAT team bodyguard protection, which is wild. He's been criticized for using the private, the PJ, the private jet, for personal use and entertainment. He's a fucking podcaster. I mean, who's going to take this clown seriously? But my thought is, he knows some shit, right? He's obviously seen the files. So if they fire him, is he going to sing? I mean, if Congress is smart, they'd put him under oath immediately, like the day after he's fired, and probe his ass and see what he knows. Because I know he knows a lot. He's seen it all. Maybe his boyfriend Dan Bongino is going to go too. Who knows? What do you guys think about this? Comment, like, share, all the things.
New reporting says Donald Trump might remove Kash Patel as the FBI director. And the reasons behind it are exactly what people warned about when Trump installed loyalists to powerful positions. He and his top aides have grown increasingly frustrated by the unflattering headlines Patel has recently generated. That's according to 3 people with knowledge of the situation who wanted to remain anonymous. Patel is receiving scrutiny for his stewardship of bureau resources, including his girlfriend's security detail and use of a government jet, and for his squabbles with other Trump loyalists. Trump and White House aides have confided to allies that the president is eyeing removing Patel and is considering top FBI official Andrew Bailey as his replacement. It's also being reported that Attorney General Pam Bondi has been frustrated with both Patel and Dan Bongino, in particular over Patel's untimely social media posts boasting prematurely about case breakthroughs. This is of course a ridiculous thing to do because it jeopardizes entire investigations. Both Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche have been irritated by the continuing distraction of news coverage of his questionable use of taxpayer resources, according to multiple sources. Of course, the White House is denying everything. Caroline Leavitt instantly responded saying the story is entirely made up. She said when this fake news was posted, she was in the Oval Office with Donald Trump and Kash Patel. She read Trump the headline and he said, "What? That's totally false. Come on, Kash, let's take a picture to show them you're doing a good job." Who would have thought that installing a bunch of loyalists with zero experience into important government roles would have consequences?
Well, here's some news. It's being reported that the orange criminal buffoon is considering firing FBI Director Kash Patel. Here's the reporting from Carol Lenig of MSNBC. MS Now. She writes, President Trump is considering removing Kash Patel as FBI Director in the coming months, as he and his top aides have grown increasingly frustrated by the unflattering headlines Patel has recently generated. This according to 3 people with knowledge of the situation who requested anonymity, of course, because otherwise they might be fired. Here's what you need to know. Kash Patel is an embarrassment. And while you can be an embarrassment in the Trump administration, actually, it's almost a requirement that you be an embarrassment, you cannot be a bigger embarrassment than Donald Trump. That's the only caveat. And Kash Patel, as buffoonish as he is, well, he sometimes gives Trump a run for his money, and that you don't do. There's only one chief clown in the Trump administration, and that's the orange buffoon himself. Try to challenge him for that title, and you're out on your ass.
Breaking news, kids. It is about noon on Tuesday, November 25th. Donald Trump is considering whether or not to fire FBI Director Kash Patel as the FBI within the coming months. The report cited 3 people with knowledge of the situation who requested anonymity in order to speak freely. White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson released a statement in response to this report. This is coming from MS Now, formerly MSNBC. President Trump has assembled the most talented and impressive administration in history, she managed to say with a straight face. And they are doing an excellent job carrying out the president's agenda. FBI Director Kash Patel is a critical member of the president's team, despite the fact that he always constantly looks like a bug-eyed possum who just shit his pants. And he is working tirelessly to restore integrity to the FBI. Wow. That's despite, the use of taxpayer resources, the flying of his girlfriend around on an FBI jet, using FBI SWAT units to provide his girlfriend with security, his constant attendance at events in Las Vegas, including this past weekend's F1 race and UFC fights, yada, yada, yada. So MS Now has just learned that FBI director may be out of a job in the coming months. 3 people with knowledge say that President Trump and his top aides have grown tired of Kash Patel and the unflattering headlines he's been generating recently. So I guess there's going to be a race to see who gets fired first, Kash Patel or Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Grown tired of unflattering headlines, including the use of a government jet to visit his girlfriend, flying his girlfriend around to her shows, enlisting a SWAT team as her security detail, yada, yada, yada. Ken Delanian was speaking with Katie Tour a little bit ago. Her show is still on right now as of me recording this. And Ken Delanian said, well, Katie, I should say, first of all, the qualifiers apply here. With Donald Trump and personnel decisions, you never know. You never actually know what's going on, but we are being told that Kash Patel, the FBI director, is on increasingly thin ice, and the president is considering replacing him by the end of the year with Andrew Bailey. That's interesting. He's not considering replacing him with Deputy Director of the FBI, the number 2 person, little Danny Boing Boing, Dan Bongina. Andrew Bailey was the former Attorney General of Missouri, who is now acting as a co-Deputy FBI Director with Dan Bongino. So at least there's somebody in there who knows how to do the job. Delanian continued, and it's for all the reasons you just said and others. The use of taxpayer resources, the flying of his girlfriend around, but also premature tweets, including related to the Charlie Kirk assassination and other investigations. Kash Patel tweeted twice that they had Charlie Kirk's shooter in custody, and he was referring to 2 different people, neither of whom ended up being the guy who's actually in custody. And then there was the terrorist plot in Michigan, where Patel got out in front of the investigation and tweeted about the arrests before the government was ready to even do the arrests. Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche, number 1 and number 2 at the Justice Department, have been annoyed with Kash Patel for a long time, although they've publicly denied it when others have reported it. And now it's increasingly clear that the White House is as well. Now, our reporting, this may actually enhance his job security, right? So it's hard to know exactly what's going to happen, but that's the reporting at this hour. Trump loves publicity. He hates negative publicity that makes him look bad from people that he hired to do these jobs. And he's getting nothing but negative publicity now for Kash Patel and for Pete Hegseth, the drunken accused rapist, allegedly, who paid off his accuser and had her sign a non-disclosure agreement. So we never got to hear from her, but there you go.
Okay, let's pause everything we're doing because it looks like Kash Patel might actually get fired. Yes, Kash Patel, Trump's handpicked FBI director, the guy who built his whole brand on loyalty. Even he is apparently too messy for this administration. So here's what's going on. The White House is floating a quiet little trial balloon through the press, saying Trump is considering removing Patel in the coming month, okay? That is DC speak for your scandals are now bigger than your usefulness, honey. But what scandals? Oh, let's recap. Just a few hits from the highlight reel. Using FBI SWAT agents as a personal security team for his girlfriend. Flying around on a $60 million government jet for date nights. Triggering an ethics nightmare in New Zealand with illegal 3D printed gift guns, running loyalty testing polygraphs on agents to see who criticized him, and somehow still finding time to post cringe content online like a teenager with a ring light. By the way, I think I need a ring light. Even Trump's own Attorney General, Pam Bondi, is reportedly fed up. When your own side starts leaking that you're a liability, well, that's not a rumor, honey. That's a countdown. So yes, the same administration that installed Patel to clean up the FBI is now publicly hinting that they might have to clean up him. Honestly, the bar is underground at this point, if this is happening.
Well, well, well. So, baby, apparently, little Kashi Patel done stepped in some doo-doo, and it's all over his shoo-shoo. Baby, they're talking about letting him go expeditiously. Yes, apparently he crossed a line, honey. Yes. Apparently the straw that broke that little camel's back today was him having SWAT protect his little girlfriend. That was it, honey. That's apparently the line that did him in. All the other shit he's done wouldn't the line, hun. But using taxpayer money for his girlfriend to have the SWAT team protect her. Who are you protecting her from, baby? Daddy? Is that who you're protecting her from? Your own crew? I understand, baby. I know how they do. Very forceful on the women. But anyway, I was thinking about poor Kashi today, hearing this news. You know, they've been wanting to push him away for quite some time. Him and Satan Cindy Lou Who, oh, baby, they butt heads every day. Even little Todd Blanchard, little Brimstone Blanchard that always looks like he smells poo, honey. Yeah, because that shit's on his shoe, too. That's why he always looks like that. But either way, he can't stand Kash either. They're always rumbling up there over the Epstein files. Yes, honey. And now Daddy's supposed to be releasing them. He signed it into law, but still, they're trying to block it from being out and being seen, saying it's a matter of national security. And you want to talk about national security, let's talk about Kash Patel. Always over there on the streets of Twitter. Leading the line to the investigation way before time. Baby. Like a sieve, this whole goddamn administration. But either way, I was thinking about poor Kashi today. You know, he's brown, honey. He don't know he's brown. He thinks he's a Viking and he's going to Valhalla. Bless his heart. Colorblind as he could be. Cross-eyed, too. Barely fucking see. But either way, he's brown, honey. Kash, you gonna be okay. You ain't gonna be safe out here in these streets, baby. You ain't gonna be safe no more from the Frozen crew. Well, unless, of course, you're hanging out with Cosplay Christy, the girl whose face is in a fight with Phyllis, the little puppy killer. And I seen over the weekend, y'all became quite close. Yes, indeed. Y'all were partying together all weekend in Vegas, baby. Maybe she can help protect you from the Frozen crew, but I doubt it, because she's probably going to be pushed away, too. I just want to remind everybody today that Cosplay Christy, too, uses taxpayer money, honey, to get out there and film little propaganda videos, and then that money's directed directly to her boyfriend's company. Yes, there's some corruption there with the taxpayer's dime. Don't forget to make the phone calls all holiday long to all members of the GOP. We also want to remove Cosplay Christy. She's causing problems for this administration. It's all this corruption out here for everybody to see. That don't look good for Orange Daddy. No, it don't. And none of them have fucking immunity. Yes, we need to move Cosplay Christy out of the way. And if we get rid of Cosplay Christy, I'm really scared for Kashi today. Because you brown, honey. Yep. You look like you're from out of town. They might throw you on the fucking ground and fly you the fuck out of town. Wouldn't that be some shit? Wouldn't that be some shit? Yes, indeed. Happy fucking holidays. Be careful, Kashi. Be careful indeed. But maybe they'll let him go, and maybe, like a woman scorned, he'll have some things to say. Maybe he'll leak a few things on that future pink slip walking paper day. Ooh, baby, the tea. The tea that would be. That is, if he makes it out alive. Oh, my. Poor little Kash Patel.
No more Pam Bondi? No more Susie Wiles? No more Kash Patel? What on earth is going on in the Trump administration? It may have to do with these disastrous poll numbers.
I think it's pretty clear, at least from a political angle, that Democrats won the shutdown. Why do I say that? Well, first, let's take a look at Donald Trump's net approval rating. It's way down from where it was pre-shutdown, right? Pre-shutdown, his net approval rating was at minus 10 points. Now it's at minus 15 points, the lowest his net approval rating has been during his entire second term in office. So the shutdown, it might have initially been helping Donald Trump out a little bit, or at least his ratings weren't falling, but now his ratings have sunk to a term too low.
What about Democrats? Is there a way to measure how they may have fared?
You have to look at the generic congressional ballot. Pre-shutdown, they were ahead by 3 points. Where are they now? They're ahead by 5 points. Their lead has widened. It is extended. When you look at those who are absolutely certain to vote, that is likely voters. We saw that in the Marquette University Law School poll last week. This 5-point lead went to 9 points. So the Democratic lead on the generic ballot.
Things just seem to be crumbling ever since Marjorie Taylor Greene left. And now you're just hearing all kinds of things coming out of the woodworks. Word around town is that Donald Trump is considering removing Kash Patel in the coming months because he's frustrated about things that are going on with the FBI. And perhaps maybe even the fact that Kash Patel is riding around and flying around with his girlfriend on the taxpayer's dime. And then we have this New Year's shakeup that's supposedly coming down the pipe where Donald Trump is supposed to get rid of Susie Wiles and Pam Bondi. And supposedly, they're supposed to replace Pam Bondi with guess who? Sidney Powell. And that's because Michael Flynn is recommending her to Donald Trump. Because Pam Bondi is all talk and no action. Now let's get back to Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn writes, post of the day, in response to what Pete Hegseth posted. Now, Whiskey Pete went on to show the world how intelligent he was by making this statement about Senator Mark Kelly. So, Captain Kelly, not only did your sedition video intentionally undercut good order and discipline, but you can't even display your uniform correctly. Your medals are out of order and rows reversed. When/if you are recalled to active duty, it'll start with a uniform inspection. And that's in response to what Senator Mark Kelly posted, which was him defending the video him and the other Democrats put out that told military personnel they don't need to obey unlawful orders. Ladies and gentlemen, we are literally watching the Trump administration self-destruct and sabotage itself. It's no wonder Donald Trump's poll numbers are truly in the toilet. And this is why they're running for the hills as we speak.
We just knew this was going to happen. It seems as though, Kash, your time is about to come to an end. This just breaking on MSN now. Trump weighing the ousting of Kash Patel, according to sources. Patel has come under scrutiny for his stewardship of FBI resources. Now, I can't for the life of me figure out why they would think that you are wasting resources, Kash. Now, as always, let's give props where props is due. This is MSN now. Carol Lenning, Laura Lopez, and Ken Delunian. No, I fucked those names all up. Trump and his White House aides have confided to allies that the president is eyeing removing Patel and is considering top FBI official Andrew Bailey as the Bureau's new director. Incredibly funny that they used the word eyeing down there in reference to Patel. And because we know this administration, your immediate thing is going to be, well, who is Andrew Bailey? I guarantee you that he's a fucking shit show. You would not be wrong.
Thank you. Were you saying that your office misfiled something, made a mistake in that claim? Because they did argue in your court briefing that teen pregnancies are good for the state and that fewer teen pregnancies is bad for the state. Did they get that wrong?
Look, here's the argument. The state of Missouri is harmed when innocent life is killed. I know we can find loving homes for all children.
Old Mr. Teen Pregnancy himself. But that's not all.
Missouri, in the post-Dobbs world, had a trigger law that went into effect that limited abortions to instances where the life of the mother is at risk, and it's a medical emergency. And really, what that does is it protects human life present in a woman's womb. It protects babies whose hearts are beating and brains are functioning. And the left hates that. And
oh, we're not done.
Federal Missouri Attorney General is accusing Starbucks' workforce of becoming more female and less white in a new lawsuit. Andrew Bailey claims the coffee chain violated federal and state laws prohibiting race discrimination by using race and sex-based hiring practices.
Yeah, he sued Starbucks. And you can even see here, the Missouri AG faces pushback from lawmakers over a $3 million budget increase. Those lawmakers, his own fucking side. Members of the Missouri House Budget Committee on Wednesday made Attorney General Andrew Bailey defend his request for millions in additional funding and his decision to sue Starbucks for allegations that it discriminated against white applicants in hiring and promotions. Republican members of the committee. Casey, you needed even fucking more than that. He's one of these guys, of course. Also, he has a storied fucking past of oppression against our fucking trans community and the LGBTQ plus community. Although it's hard to fathom, if we thought Kash Patel was bad, this guy seems much worse. In saying that, he's definitely a fit for Trump's administration. Does anyone else believe that we should just have politics completely out of fucking anything that has to do with enforcement, law enforcement, FBI, CIA? Is it just me that politics should play absolutely zero role in these jobs? Weaponization of these bureaus is off the fucking chart and will only continue to drive division in this country. If you have any argument against that and you don't agree with me on that, that's simply because you're enjoying the division.
Hello and good afternoon. In today's episode of As the White Hood Turns, listen. Now, y'all have heard that there was supposedly some deal that was struck with Ukraine, right? Y'all heard this, right? Y'all heard this. But did y'all hear that apparently it came from Vlad? And basically all they did was run it through like a chat GPT. Now, I don't know. That's what the people are saying. I didn't say that. That's what the people are saying. That they put it through some kind of AI and then gave it to Zelensky as if Sid came up with the ideas himself. When I tell you that this whole administration ain't right. And then, did y'all hear that coked out Kash sent his girlfriend on the FBI plane with her own SWAT security detail? Did y'all hear that? And then when they got to the destination and she was singing or whatever, and they realized that they were just there for her, they left. And then all the people that were on the SWAT detail, I guess they got rolled up. Listen. All of this was going on over the weekend, but I listen. I was under the weather, right? My daughter left to go away for the weekend and left me with her dog. Little cute dog, Daisy. But I'm allergic, I think. So the whole weekend, I was just out for the count. So I'm feeling better today. But it's one thing to be like just completely dozy on Benadryl and be reading these stories and be like, this can't be real. And then, you come out of the fog to find out. But it's not surprising, is it? And the icing on the cake is, did y'all hear about all them fake overseas accounts? All them fake MAGA accounts? MAGA? Everybody know y'all dumb. And it says that a lot of these accounts said horrible, divisive things because they knew MAGA would fall for it. If that don't say the world knows y'all dumb. Because some of these accounts were from Thailand, Africa, Russia. I'm telling you, it was very busy. But I feel better. And so there will be more. But yeah. The White Hood was very busy this weekend. And did y'all see it in his little coat and scarf? And the internet is losing their mind because they say he was trying to dress like Mondami and Barack. Okay, I think that's enough for this afternoon. I'm sure I'll be back later.